flowers like glacier, pretty like ray tracing. I've become complacent.
What's up, you guys? I'm back with my plants that I recently unboxed, and today I'm gonna go ahead and repot all my plants. So please keep watching. Most of these plants I plan on growing climbing up a moss pole, of course. And I also am gonna try out some new moss poles that I recently got on Amazon. And I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. It was a disaster for me trying to put them together, and they are very simple. And I don't know what's wrong with me, but if you've seen the moss poles that I build, you would think that these plastic moss poles I got off Amazon would be a piece of cake, but they kind of got the best of me. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they came rolled up. It was very difficult to get them straightened out and get them to where I can position them correctly to build them. I'm not even going to talk about the challenge of putting moss in there, but it was my first time. I was going to do it on camera, but I kind of was testing one out and I was like, okay, this isn't exactly how I think it's going to go. So let me go ahead and try to assemble them off camera and see how it goes. So another thing I want to mention about the moss poles that I got off of Amazon as an experiment is that after I added the moss, they were pretty heavy. So I don't know if the pots that I planned on using are going to be able to hold them up with the plants that I have being so small. So I'm going to go ahead and try and see what works. If it doesn't work, I'll just try something else. No big deal. And I also wanted to show you something that I got today. Let me tell you. So TikTok kind of had me on a little scavenger hunt. So I don't have this plant, and I've been seeing everyone finding them in Kroger. So if you follow me on TikTok, you may have already seen this plant, but let me go ahead and show you her. So here she is. It is a Philodendron white princess, and someone corrected me recently and told me that it was a white knight. I really have no idea. All I know is that it's a cute plant. It was in Kroger and I have it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and repot her as well. She's very small. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and try to throw in the footage of me finding her in the store. Guess what? I found the Philodendron white princess at the Kroger. They're all so beautiful, so I had to grab one, and here she is. I mean, they had so many of them. They're so cute. Can you see her? Look at these leaves, you guys. I'm not even like a big sucker for variegation. I mean, I love it, but I don't need it. But this is very cute. And this plant I found, well, the one that I picked out has a lot of, well, it doesn't have a lot. Each plant that's in this pot has a new leaf growing in, so that's why I picked this one. I didn't really care to have one that had very high variegation, because we know what kind of happens with plants that have that on there. They tend to go ahead and just die off anyway. So I kind of got one that had a good mix of green and white, so I don't, you know, take her out. So this is her. She's gonna get some treatment today as well. I have already rinsed her leaves off. Well, I already washed her leaves off. I sprayed her for bugs, and I'm gonna go ahead and put her in a new pot. I plan on putting her in leca. And since this plant is not that hard to get, I mean, I didn't pay hundreds of dollars for it. Not that I would. I don't feel, you know, any kind of way of trying to test it out in leca or even pond. I'm more comfortable with transitioning plants into pond if I haven't took them through the process of getting them ready for leca, which normally involves me rinsing off all the dirt and letting them sit in water for a few weeks until they start growing water roots. And it also allows for all the dirt to fall off of the roots in places that you probably either can't get to, or you don't even notice that it's still dirt on there, because when there's still dirt on the roots when you're moving a plant from soil to leca, that causes root rot. And I don't need no help taking out no plant. So, and when you're moving a plant from soil to leca, the soil roots will fall off anyway, but I don't want them to all just turn into mush at the same time. So let's just get into it and see what happens. All right. And I also made some more of these cute little potting mats for this project to help kind of keep my work area a little bit more clean. I mean, I have a lot of big saucers in here, but some of them I can't find that I normally use. So I thought these were cute. And this is kind of an example of what I mean when I say I can make a custom size. I don't sell this size, but if you need something smaller or bigger, just send me a message on my shop and I'll go ahead and let you know if I can make it and about how long it'll be before I can send it out to you. Normally I can make these in less than 5 days, and that's including getting them to the post office. So fun fact. All right, so I'm gonna start with my Philodendron Billietiae. I'm also gonna try to knock this baby out. So my Philodendron Jupii, this plant is in moss. I'm gonna go ahead and just put her in water. I'm not playing no games with no roots that's been sitting in water. I'm gonna definitely let this plant grow some water roots so I can move her over to Leca. Also, my Philodendron SP Columbia, it came to me in moss, and I hope you've seen that plant in my previous video. That plant is thriving in Leca right now, and it's because I took her out of her moss, I put her in water and just let her grow some water roots and let all the moss roots either fall off or the moss slowly comes off of the roots while it's sitting in water. So they're not going to have a higher chance of rotting if they're going to be in Leca or pond. So just to let you know, I know this works. But I'm definitely going to put this anthurium in pond. I'm not playing with no anthurium. I really love this plant, but every time I have an anthurium, I have to put it in pond. I feel like putting my anthuriums in pond is just a foolproof way for me to keep them happy. And while doing this, this also gives me a chance to kind of see what's going on with the roots. Please keep watching and enjoy the music. It's gonna be a while. Luckily, not too many of the roots are like growing through the plug, so I ain't tripping. These roots look pretty good. I wonder if this plant was just rooting in water, because this moss is just falling right off of the roots. This plant is dope. This is probably the one that I love the most out of all the plants I recently received in my plant mail. Look at these leaves. Look at these leaves, okay? You can't beat this. You can't beat this, and I really hope I don't kill it. I highly suggest when you get new plants, I mean, I know it might be a little intimidating, but go ahead and check out the roots. And in this situation with this shipment of plants, I'm being very good, because normally as soon as I get a plant, I will just rip it right out of the pot. As soon as I take it out the box, I'm taking it out the pot. I'm checking what's going on, because I don't want to be bamboozled later dealing with root rot or finding that the plant needs something and I could have been treating it for that or accommodating its needs sooner. Because the truth is, when you get plants in the mail or from anywhere, if you get them from a shop, they still have to acclimate to your conditions in your home. So they're going to be shocked regardless. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not a professional. I mean, this is just a hobby of mine that I love to do. And normally when I'm doing this process, I use my glass containers. But since I'm going to go ahead and be potting them up today, I'm not going to even waste my time trying to go find them all and clean them out. I'm just going to use old, dirty, or new. I'm just gonna go ahead and use some to-go containers, and then I'll take them outside and rinse, and I'm just rinsing them down. No big deal here. So this is just one plant. This is crazy. Look how small the root system is on this plant. Wow, this is crazy. But I'm here for it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to treat some of these plants the way I kind of want to. Oh, I'm glad I didn't wait any longer because this soil is so wet. And I had this plant before, this syngoniumfrostedheart, but we went through some things and I had to let her go. I had to let her go. Okay. So this is the Philodendron Pink Princess I found in my local grocery store. This is amazing. Okay, I'm not a pink girl. Okay, I don't care for plants that are pink, but this is beautiful. She's a winner. Do you see these healthy? Oh my God, these roots are dumb. I don't even see a root system like this. I don't even know if I want to attempt to take all the roots, to take all the soil off. So with roots like this, I don't know if I would even want to try and remove the soil. Do you see how healthy they are though? They're going crazy. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that. I'm not even gonna try to take the roots off of this. I'm just gonna take this. I'm just gonna take this plant outside and just hose her off because it's so many roots and they seem like they're pretty fine, and the soil is kind of damp and I don't want to risk losing her healthy root system. So I'm just gonna take this one right outside and just rinse the soil off. Now let's check out the situation with the Philodendron White Princess I got today. She's in a small pot. This is like a little 3-inch pot. Let me see here. She has some really good soil too. It's kind of chunky. I'm impressed. Love this. Look at this. Soil just falling right off. She has a serious plug, but that's okay. She doesn't seem like it's bothering her any. And she's growing she's growing 2 new leaves. And normally I would not be trying to manipulate a plant or unpot it or mess with its roots when it's growing some new leaves, but I feel like if something bad happens to her, I can just go get another one. I might actually just put this plant in some water, which I really didn't want to do, but I did just get this today. I might put this plant in some water so the soil can fall off the roots and the leaves coming in can be pretty happy and have, you know, some nutrients pumping through the leaves versus it trying to acclimate to maybe leca, because I think that's what I want to put her in. And okay. I haven't bought plants in so long. At least it seems like it. That I don't remember the last time I seen a plant with something like this on it. It has fabric around the plug. Like it's not just... This is different. Imagine me missing this chair and hitting this hard tile floor. That'd be crazy. If I did that, I probably would just turn the camera off and go sit down somewhere. I mean, let's just be real. Ooh. This is kind of satisfying though, pulling this off of here. Okay, I just want to get the fabric off. without removing the roots, because it has some pretty decent roots for it to be this small. And instead of trying to fiddle with the soil on the roots, I'm just going to take it outside. Uh-oh, I just pulled off a root. That's okay. I'm going to take it outside and hose it off. I find that if I just let the water just work the soil off the roots, lessens the risk, I guess, of me losing all the roots. So I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get her. I went outside to rinse the plant's roots down and their leaves a second time, and the mosquitoes are crazy. So I was out there fighting for my life, but here I am. And let's go ahead and repot some of these plants that I have. Of course, like I said about this Philodendron jupii, this baby's going to stay in water. You can already see the moss sliding off of the roots. So I'm just going to leave her in here until she's done working herself out. I'm not even going to attempt to repot her right now. Outside of the mosquito bites that I experienced being outside, it's very hot, so I'm a little sweaty and a little hot. Of course I'm dirty, but I'm not worried about that. But I am hot. I might be a little, you know, extra shiny. But anyway, let's get into these plants. Plants will be going into ponds, so boom. Let's go ahead and knock these out real quick. I have 2 of these small self-watering pots. I'm gonna put them in until their root system gets more established and I can move them into another pot, which is preferably a clear pot. And since these plants were in some pretty wet soil, I'm not going to water them. I'm just going to go ahead and pot them up, let them sit for a few days, and then I'll water them maybe next weekend. And I didn't fill the pond up to the very top. These petioles and these leaves can get so wonky on this Billietiae, but I'm gonna put her under a grow light, so hopefully, you know, her leaves will start, you know, straightening themselves out. I'm not going to give her a lot of pond because her root system is very small, so it's not filled up to the top. It's maybe half, but she'll be okay. Here's one of the moss poles that I put together. I got it on Amazon. It's just one piece of plastic that you hook in the back and you fill it up with your own moss. I'm gonna go ahead and try to use it to repot one of my monsteras. Here are the roots that were in the Philodendron Pink Princess. All of the soil just fell right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pot her up and just say a prayer. Here's the Philodendron Pink Princess that I got from my local grocery store. This looks dope. And this is the moss pole that I got from Amazon that was kicking my butt earlier when I was trying to put it together. But look at her. So dope. The more you know. I think the moss pole actually turned out really good. I'm gonna probably have to add some more moss to it, because the moss that I had was a little, I think, too wet, and it was causing the pole to be extremely heavy. But look at this. This is so beautiful. And I think this would be great. She has a very large root system. And I think this 6-inch pot is going to give her plenty of room to grow into. And I pray, well, I really hope that she doesn't lose all of her roots, because they're plentiful. And that's it. So I just finished doing all the plant care for my plant mail that I received over the past week or so, and here's what we have. So I'm also going to give the ones that needed some nutrient water and go from there. Here's the Philodendron Bilietiae. I put her in pond in a self-watering pot. I'm not going to give her any water for about a week because her soil was very wet. That's her. She's cute. I have my Anthurium veitchii. She is also in pond in a small self-watering pot. She will not get any water because her roots were sitting in wet soil as well. So this is her. Next is my syngoniumfrostedheart. I just went ahead and put her in some leca. I'll put her in a bigger pot when she has more established roots, and she is in a boba cup. I'm going to give this plant some water for sure. So in this gallon of water, I have liquid dirt and some rapid start. Here's what I have. Please don't talk about my bottle. I don't know what's going on with it. And I think this is very good when you're transferring plants from soil to leca. So this is what I use sometimes if I feel like I'm stressing the plant out too much. I'm going to put the water in this cup so I don't make a complete mess because it's heavy. Oh my God, no. This is all the water I'm going to give her for now until she establishes her roots in leca. And that's the syngoniumfrostedheart. She is so pretty. This is an easy one to cover. This is the Philodendron White Princess, or whatever you want to call her. I'm going to leave her in water because I don't trust her root system. For one, she has 2 new leaves growing in. I think she really could use the consistent water since I just ripped her out of soil, and she has a lot of soil on her roots, and I am not comfortable right now putting her in leca. Maybe about a week or so, I expect all of the soil to be sitting in this cup of water. Of course, I'm gonna change it out as needed, and she should be ready to go pretty soon. Listen, I was riding home with her and I took this leaf that was stuck in the patio out, and ever since I've been home, I've been noticing it unfurling. Can you see that? Maybe I'm tripping, but maybe not. But that's the Philodendron White Princess. We already know what was going on with this plant. I will be growing her roots back in water, and once she's ready, I'll move her over to her final destination. Let's go ahead and get into this Philodendron Splendid. She's a small baby, so I am going to give her some nutrient water right now just to kind of get her situated. She is in a to-go container. This is an old one I had that already had holes. This is her situation for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give her some water. Not very much. When I take plants out of soil and put them into leca, I do not let the water in the reservoir touch the roots. I just put it right below the roots until the plant starts growing water roots into the leca. So this is all she's gonna get, and I'm just gonna put her in a place where I can monitor her. I have this monstera I'm very familiar with. I know this plant loves a lot of water and does not like drying out. I put her in a to-go container. She doesn't have a very big root system, but I know she will grow one, so I'm not gonna give her a moss pole right now. I'm gonna wait for her to grow some roots. And then I'm gonna add her to another plant I already have that's on a moss pole so it can be more full. And that's all the water I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna keep it cute, be safe. The last two plants that I have to show you that I repotted from my recent, experience with unboxing plants, as well as finding some few gems in local grocery stores. For one, this Philodendron Pink Princess. She ended up going into a 6-inch pot, as you can see here. And I also gave her one of these test moss poles. I filled it up with some wet sphagnum moss, put her in leca. She has a very, very healthy root system, and I really hope I don't piss her off. And I'm gonna go ahead and give her some water. Well, let me just fill it in down here. I'm not gonna give her a lot of water. I just want her to get established and acclimated to being in leca. She's been in soil, and I'm gonna keep an eye on her and see how she does. But I do have another Philodendron Pink Princess that is in leca, but she was grown in water and she was gifted to me. So that's a different situation, but I do know that this plant can be successful in water. Next, I have this monstera. I don't know what this is called, but I put her in a 6-inch pot, and she also has one of these new moss poles that I'm going to be testing out. This plant is so dope. I'm so excited to see her grow. She has a very, very small root system. I am really shocked that she even has all these big leaves. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her some nutrient water like I did to everyone else, and fingers crossed, I hope for the best. I'm not gonna give her too much water because I think I potted her pretty low in the pot. But if she's anything like some of the other monsteras I had that seem to be in this, Adansonii family, she's gonna take to the leca very well, very quickly, and she's gonna need a lot of water. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.
Flowers like glacier, pretty like ray chasing.